Good evening to all, and thank you for joining us for this special virtual event, The Magic of Home for At Home on the Sound. I'm George Latimer, and I'm the County Executive for Westchester County. I'm delighted to have been asked to emcee this event for At Home. For those of you new to this organization, 11 years ago, At Home on the Sound grew out of a national grassroots movement that supports and enhances the lives of folks 60 years and onward, and enables them to age in place, exactly where they wish to be, at home. In past years, At Home's in-person gala has been a festive and community-driven event. As many of us have discovered during COVID, adjustments have had to be made to accommodate our circumstances. This year, in addition to their local members, volunteers, donors, and sponsors, At Home is happy to welcome friends and family who are joining us from afar, a chance to see who they are and what they do for this vibrant community on Long Island Sound. Tonight, you'll be hearing from many different people who live, work, and volunteer in the neighboring towns of Larchmont and Mamaroneck. To kick off the evening, I'd like to introduce At Home's president, Teddy Becker. Teddy, take it away.
I'm pleased to welcome you to our very first video event, a celebration whose theme is the magic of home. There is no doubt that this time has been challenging, scary, and isolating. In an April op-ed piece in the New York Times, David Brooks wrote that the pandemic year feels like a parenthesis in our life narrative. How will we at Home think of this time, years down the road? Interestingly, the frustration we have all experienced has encouraged a burst of ingenuity at Home on the Sound, a wave of innovation. Yes, we have continued to provide programs and services, for the most part virtually, for our members. For example, our current events, our over 80, and our women's groups, as well as our popular Tuesday lecture series, all meet virtually. Our drivers are taking people to doctor's appointments, and volunteers have been shopping for members since the pandemic started. But at the same time, we have been working behind the scenes. We engaged a consulting firm to help us create a strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years of our activity. We intended to carry us to new levels of service offerings. We have listened to our members. We have identified their newer needs. We have borrowed the best ideas from other aging-in-place organizations. In expanding our services, we will avail ourselves of existing and better technology. We will focus on member health and member IT needs. In addition, our goal is to become the go-to organization for contemporary aging information in the Sound Shore communities, and we plan to enhance our existing resource service to do just that. We have our work cut out for us. But back to the evening's theme, the magic of home. Where's the magic? With our friends and family, with our neighbors in Mamaroneck and Larchmont, with our community's first responders, with our libraries, with our local merchants, with At Home on the Sound, with our executive director, Elaine Weingarten, with our volunteers, with our board members, and with our members, all of whom believe in the magic of our community and the magic of home. Home is At Home on the Sound. More on that later. Right now, I would like to introduce you to someone who will actually be bringing us a little magic. Christoph, the magician.
Good evening. As you've just heard, I am Christoph the Magician, and I'm here in a magical way to talk a little bit about Home on the Sound and what we might do to support the magic of home. So to begin with one such magical illustration, you guys have probably seen a bank teller envelope before, right? Anytime you go to the bank to get cash with a live person, this is what you get. And it can be in one of two states. It can be empty or it can be full, right? This is obviously the empty state, which is not preferred. I think everybody agrees that the full state is much superior. And once you have one of those full envelopes of cash, there are various things that you can do with it. Some of those might even involve Home on the Sound, but we'll talk more about that later on. And stay tuned because we have lots more magic to come your way.
That was great, Christoph. In the real world, we have our own magicians. Sometimes we need a little magic, a touch of light and levity to get through a trying time. At Home would like to acknowledge the magic of our community and thank our local magicians who stepped up to keep everyone here, but especially our seniors and most vulnerable populations, safe, fed, and connected.
Thank you, George. Even though we should all be feeling much more optimistic, this has indeed been a really challenging year, a time of much anxiety and so much uncertainty and concern. At Home on the Sound has been particularly grateful for this, given our dedication to help make the lives of our members and volunteers richer and more rewarding, as we all navigate the vulnerabilities of getting older. First and foremost, we must express our sincere gratitude to our healthcare professionals and first responders, our wonderful EMS and incredibly dedicated firefighters and police officers who experienced this pandemic firsthand, but whose presence and responsiveness continue to provide so much reassurance. And to these, we have to add our reliable DPW workers who have truly kept everything running so smoothly, despite the threat and the challenges of COVID-19. And it doesn't stop there. At Home on the Sound's gratitude extends to all who have put themselves out there in the face of this virus to help make us just a little more comfortable and secure. Thank you to our local supermarkets and food stores that provided daily senior shopping hours, in-store personal shoppers, and roadside pickups. It made a very, very big difference to so many of us. Thank you to our local restaurants and One Larchmont, who created all the innovative igloos and inventive ways for outside, socially distanced dining, so we didn't have to stop treating ourselves to your delicious, imaginative cooking. Thank you to our local wine and liquor stores who went out of their way to keep the good stuff fully stocked and flowing for those times when a glass or two of something was just what was needed. Thank you to the Mamaroneck and Larchmont libraries that in their own innovative ways were readily accessible, created special Zoom events and found simple ways to get us all the good reading that became so very, very important. Thank you to our pharmacies that delivered medications or had them shipped free to our homes. And of course, a very, very, very big thank you to all our At Home on the Sound volunteers, who with great care and caution helped our members get to important doctor's appointments, handled all necessary food and medical shopping trips, and did so much more. Be it the weekly calls to all members, the book reading sessions, the foreign language and discussion groups, the What's Happening sessions, and the bi-monthly cultural and wellness events organized by our very own Ellie Fredston. And to a most extraordinary of volunteers who single-handedly secured more than 70 vaccination appointments, Mallory Fitzgerald, you must really have a magic wand. And to all the magicians in our community that provided the Zoomified connectivity that has made At Home on the Sound members and many others not feel isolated, but a part of something and truly cared about throughout this pandemic year. We applaud you, all of you who had our backs, you who helped us to feel touched by the joy of a little of your magic. I would now like to introduce one of At Home on the Sound's longtime generous supporters, Rita Malby, CEO of United Hebrew of New Rochelle.
Thank you, Simon. United Hebrew of New Rochelle shares the same beliefs as At Home on the Sound in our dedication to helping older adults age well. Our campus of services is a model for care as we are able to support a wide range of older adults, from those who are living independently to those with advanced healthcare needs, and everyone in between. We really do understand the importance of home. United Hebrew's campus is a community and it's home. Our mission is to treat you and your loved ones like family, whether you are just beginning the process of choosing a senior living option or have lived with us for a very long time. We have been proud to support At Home on the Sound over the years as a valued resource to the community.
So do you remember in our last episode, I had some cash that I pulled out of that envelope, and it wasn't exactly the long green, right? It was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 $1 bills. Not a great deal of money, right? Just 2, 3, 4, and $5. But I want to talk to you about how we can magically make those funds increase, right? Because say you start out with a figure of $1 bills. But if you add a little bit of magic, boom, just like that, you can actually change that from $1 bills into 2, 3, 4, 5 $10 bills. So now instead we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 $10 bills, which is a much better situation in which to find oneself. So that's how it works with magic. But now we're going to kick it to you because, frankly, this is kind of a trick, right? And a trick, boom, just like that can be undone. And then suddenly we're back to the original 4, 5 $1 bills. Now, it's possible that you can fix all of that problem with some actual cash. So we're going to leave it to you and your creativity to figure out just how you should respond, okay? So come on back, there's still more to go.
It's me again. In developing our theme and the various segments of our presentation, a question kept popping up. As I mentioned earlier, how would we, and maybe you, best describe the past pandemic year and At Home's response to it? We were looking for something snappy, a hook or tagline that would attract your attention and keep you interested in the video. Well, in one hilarious meeting, we agreed that there were any number of 4-letter words that could describe the past 15 months. But a better question to pose was, what 4-letter words could we use to describe At Home on the Sound during this same time? Magically, the words that emerged were positive, not naughty. They signaled purpose, commitment, hope. Here's a few from our list. If you can think of others, jot them down and send them to us. Ours include care, love, help, hear, ride, talk, shop. Not to be outdone, our volunteers and members have some words to contribute as well.
Care.
Love.
Good.
Help.
Safe.
Help.
But are you going to actually put these things in?
Well, help.
Hard.
So now we're going to try an example of teleportation in the digital age. But in order to do this, I'm going to need a volunteer from the audience. So let's go out and get one person to help out with this effect, shall we? Well, for this next bit of magic, I'm going to need the assistance of an audience volunteer. So I have called upon Lynn Reichgott, a founder and past president of Home on the Sound, to help me out with this. So Lynn, do I have you with me?
You do.
There she is, wonderful. Now, Lynn, let's set a couple of ground rules here first. Number one, you and I have not set anything up ahead of time, correct? You have no idea what I'm about to do. Is that fair?
Yes, that's true.
Are you a little nervous?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. That's exactly the way I like the audience to feel, just so that I'm not the only one. So then we're going to do something that I like to call digital teleportation. I'll talk more about that in a moment, but we're going to do it with the deck of cards. Now, this is going to sound a little outlandish, but technology these days is amazing. So here's what we're going to do, Lynn. I'm going to pass this deck of cards to you through this monitor, all right? So I'm just going to put it in like so. And what I want you to do is to just reach into your monitor and take out what I have just handed. Go ahead, reach in there. They'll be invisible when they come out on your side, but go ahead and take those right out of the monitor if you would, please. Oh, great, we're good. Now, Lynn, what I want you to do is to take the cards out of the box. Just open up the box, take the cards out, and you can throw the box away. And for everybody else, I want to emphasize that my right hand is going to remain in frame on screen during this entire performance, all right? This will never leave your view. That's going to be very important later on. But now, Lynn, the deck of cards that you're holding consists of essentially two types of cards. There are the number cards, which are ace through 10, and then there are the court cards, the jacks, queens, and kings. And what do you want to take first, the number cards or the court cards?
The court cards.
All right. So you can throw the rest of them away. Just take the court cards. So you've got jacks, queens, and kings in your hand now, right?
Yeah.
Now I want you to throw away two of those types. You're going to keep either the jacks, the queens, or the kings, and I want you to throw the others away. So what would you like to keep, Lynn?
I'd like to keep the jack and the queen.
Oh, you get to keep one type. The others
Oh, I
you have
keep
to throw
one.
away.
Oh, I have three. Okay, I'll keep the queen.
You're going to keep the queens. Okay.
Yes.
Now there are four queens, of course. There's the queen of clubs, the queen of hearts, the queen of diamonds, the queen of spades, right?
Right.
Which of those queens do you want to keep? The other three I want you to throw away, but do you want to keep the club, heart, spade, or diamonds?
The diamond.
You're going to keep the queen of diamonds, all right?
Yes.
Now, you see how my hand has been here on screen the whole time, Lynn? I want you to take that one card that you kept and push it into the monitor and into my fist. Oh, nicely done. I could swear you've done this before, all right? But now you see when you push it through the screen like that, it actually becomes a visible card. And I've already forgotten, what did you say your card was again? The queen
of diamonds.
What?
Diamonds.
Okay, sure enough. There we go. We have your card, the queen of diamonds, exactly as you presented it to us right through the monitor. Now that was an excellent display of teleportation digitally, so you are light years ahead of your peers. Congratulations on that. And how about a nice round of applause for Lynn and her wonderful experience.
Thank you.
If I can add my 2 cents on a favorite 4-letter word, mine would be vote. I think we can all agree every community across this county, country, and world has needed a little magic to get us to where we are now. I have watched with great gratitude and appreciation how the people and community groups of the Larchmont Mamaroneck area have come together during COVID, and At Home on the Sound has been right there, contributing to the well-being of the seniors. There is one person at Home who has been with them from the beginning and has been a guiding force in shaping the organization, developing the culture, cultivating the services and operations, as well as being totally hands-on with all of its members and volunteers. She has held the position of Executive Director, and she will be retiring at the end of this month. A Zoom call was held with the people who were instrumental in creating At Home on the Sound and the presidents of At Home from the beginning, under the guise that they and Elaine Weingarten would be briefly speaking about their experiences with At Home. She had no idea they were going to pay her a virtual and loving farewell. Without further ado, I present to you Elaine Weingarten's Send.
The ostensible purpose of this segment is to talk about the history of At Home on the Sound from its inception, from day one, even from day zero, touching on its mission, its growing pains, its energy, its volunteers, its triumphs. But surprise, it's not. The true purpose of this section is to talk about Elaine Weingarten, our executive director, who is retiring at the end of June 2021 and who has been with At Home at its helm almost since its inception. Elaine, sit back and enjoy what's coming your way. All of the people whom you see on the screen are members of the I Love Elaine Club. They include past presidents and others who were instrumental in bringing At Home on the Sound to vibrant life. We all have something we'd like to say to Elaine about our time together. I'll start with Lynn. You're muted, Lynn.
I know. So Elaine, you started in April 2010, and it is now May 2021. That is 11 years. It has been my greatest pleasure to get to know you and to work with you over those years. You just were right from the beginning, totally involved in our growth and in our development. And you took us to where we are today, to where we are successfully today. And we thank you. I thank you personally, in addition to all of the organization thanking you for all of your input and wisdom. We will miss you.
Thank you. Bruce, you're next.
Wow. It's a heavy assignment because, Elaine, I think that an organization requires a bulwark that just carries it forward. It's like a family, there's a center, and if the center is strong enough, it'll survive. And all of us here are, we're committed and we believe that, but we're peripheral. You were the backbone. You carried us all the way forward. And how did you do that? For me, it's because you're so solid. You care, you're there, you just put one foot after another, you never get roiled and out of whack. You're there and you're making it happen. It is so impressive. I hope when you get to be my elderly age, you look back with enormous satisfaction, which you deserve, on how successful you've been in life. What a great achievement this was. So kudos to you and much love.
Thank you. Penny.
I was president. I was the first president who had not been a founder. So I think Elaine and I were kind of figuring out our roles, who was going to do what and when we were going to do it. But what I remember most is how easy it was to work with you and what a pleasure it was. You were engaging with personality issues as well as substantive issues. You never lost your temper. I think we were able to get through that. I think our relationship developed into a friendship, which I certainly cherish, and which I think mirrors what you give to the members. I think they regard you as a friend too. So well done, my friend.
Janet. Janet, you're muted.
Elaine, you've been the heart and soul of At Home on the Sound since its inception. Not only do the members and volunteers all love you, you have been a great public face for At Home on the Sound. You represented us well with the community, local politicians, officials, and the clergy. Elaine, you have created a great legacy.
I would be next in line if we would, what I was trying to do is do it in presidential order. So I am going to go next. I'm going to tell you the one remarkable thing that I feel about Elaine, and it could be viewed as a fault. She never says, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't. She never said no, no matter what I ask, no matter what time of the day or night I call her. She is always accessible and always willing to go that extra, not even that extra step, that extra mile. And that is so valued and so much appreciated. I had to get that in. Doreen. You're muted, Doreen.
Got it. Elaine, I remember when we decided to form this organization, and the first time we met you, we knew you would be the perfect person to direct the organization into the right path. And you did, and we thank you greatly.
Thank you, Doreen. Leslie, you're next. You're muted, Les.
Elaine, just about everybody else has already stolen whatever I was going to say, but I'll just speak from my heart. It's been such a wonderful, wonderful journey with you. You've always put everything you had into this organization, and whether it was a weekend or you were away, you were always with us. You were always on call, and I know we were always on your mind. When I think of you, I think of the sensitivity that you show to our members. I think of the empathy that is so much a part of your personality. I think of how you're so optimistic all the time and how you have been able to negotiate situations that have been thorny without ever losing your cool. It's been incredible. I don't know what we're going to do without you. We will miss you terribly, but I know that you'll be there somewhere in the background, and we will always keep in touch. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I should also tell you that probably at least 6 of us have your phone number memorized. Well, I hope you enjoyed your little historical trip. Anyone else have anything else to say?
Great, Hilda.
Yeah, well, Elaine, I
Oh,
remember.
Hilda, didn't you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
remember hanging out together at 545 Tompkins Avenue with Anne Garland, Harriet Klein, and Pat Hashy, all newcomers to each other, trying to navigate new territory. And so we did. I admired your patience with all us prima donnas, and your sunny nature carried you through. But especially noteworthy is your compassion for our members and our volunteers who will sing your praises for long into the future. And some, like Eileen Marks, will continue to do so from the other side, despite having given us a run for our money on this side. You have helped At Home on the Sound grow into the sturdy, recognized organization it has become. I salute you.
Ellie, it's your turn to shine.
Wonderful. I'd like to shine. But it's truly been a joy to know and to work with Elaine the past 11 years. Elaine is one of the reasons that AHOTS has been successful because of her warmth, compassion, intelligence, and understanding of people and their needs. She has always been available to help me with the Tuesday afternoon programs, but most important of all, she has been accessible for all of us. A huge thank you, Elaine. Enjoy the next years and your ever-growing family. Lots of love.
Yes. Thank you.
Wow. I can't, I'm out of words, and you all know I'm never out of words, I'm never speechless. I thank you all so much. I am so touched by this, so surprised and so touched by this. I have no words. As I've shared with most of you, my experiences at Home on the Sound have been wonderful. I loved coming to work. I loved working with all of you. I loved figuring out through, the problems and the issues and the challenges, because we did it together. I never, ever felt alone in this. And that was remarkable. A lot of worker bees, a lot of helpers, a lot of people I could reach out to. But we have been so fortunate, and I have been so fortunate to work with the most amazing people, an amazing community, our members, our volunteers. I surely have gotten more out of this than I gave, because this has been remarkable and this has been wonderful. And this is just a sample. This is a typical example of how wonderful all of you are and how supportive all of you are. And needless to say, I will miss all of you deeply, but I'm not gone. So I will step back so a new executive director can take the reins and do the job even better than I have. But I will be behind the scenes, always around if you ever need anything, because I adore all of you and I feel like family. So thank you again. This has been an incredible experience for me too.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I think our work is done.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. I really didn't see this coming.
At Home would also like to recognize Jelana Van Meter for her significant contributions to its success. Jelana left the organization in February after over 8 years of dedicated service as communications and administrative manager. She was the voice of At Home on the Sound in all of its written communications and often on the office telephone. Her verbal prowess, attention to detail, and passionate commitment to At Home's mission set a very high standard. At Home wishes Jelana only the best in all her future endeavors.
Well, I'm back. And I have one final example of how we can raise money with magic. And it just involves a little piece of paper, all right? Just a little simple blank piece of paper like you could find around the house. In fact, it's about the size of a check, just in case that gives anybody any ideas. Or you could say that it's about the size of a $100 bill. Either of those would work. But here's where the magic comes in. We just utter a little incantation such as, show me the money. And boom, just like that, we have created a $20 bill out of absolutely nothing. So keep that in mind. And if you would, do your magic for Home on the Sound.
As hard as it is to say goodbye to Elaine, we are now looking forward. We have been fortunate to find a wonderful and accomplished new executive director. I'd like to introduce Lisa Goldberg, who will forge her own path in leading At Home on the Sound into the future.
Thank you, Teddy. I am so happy to become a part of this incredible organization. I look forward to getting to know all of you and to continuing the excellent work At Home on the Sound does in the Larchmont and Mamaroneck communities. I'm also so happy to be back in the Mamaroneck community. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the good folks at Home on the Sound are grateful to all of you who took the time to jump online to the virtual event. They may not have had it in person this year, but you can certainly see how much they care about their community, their members, and their volunteers. A big thank you to everyone who participated in making this event happen, and to all of you who have shared it with us this evening, and to those of you who have supported At Home throughout the years. If anyone has a parent, grandparent, or friend in the Larchmont-Mamaroneck area who would benefit from joining and/or volunteering with this dynamic group of people, remember their doors are always open. So let's raise a glass to toast At Home on the Sound and its community as we move into a brighter, happier, and safer future.
Join.
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 Join. Join.
Join.
Join. Join.
Join.
Now for our last bit of magic, I'm going to make the program vanish right before your eyes. Don't look away or you'll miss it.